A very, very warm, late good evening, maybe even a late good night, good afternoon, maybe good morning, wherever you are in the world. This is arunfoot Chhetri. You are live on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. And I didn't travel to Shillong. I thought, with the other work, that maybe I should prioritize my work over the Indian national team. And I was watching the match on the side, and these are one of those tough days, and hi Manu, hi Rushabh. Actually I'm here in Kolkata on work. This was bad. This was really bad, right? And it is sometimes difficult to maybe find the right words for the same when you see such a game. But when you say we were lucky, that says it all. And that is, I think, and that's it. Hi, Mayank. I did not see the match, but seems like a usual day in Indian men's football. No, I don't think, Mayank, it's a usual day in Indian men's football. I think it just showcases, and I've just put out a tweet a little while ago, which I think, for me, summarizes the situation in Indian football, where I said anyone who's worked in Indian football in the last 15 to 20 years needs to question him, herself, what they've contributed to football in India, or rather not. I don't take myself out of this. This is just shameful. And it is, especially I was talking to someone who'd met in the evening, or in the afternoon rather. And I felt that there are a lot of multiple characters who've been around the scene for a while, who say, I've done this, I've done that, and that's the problem. When did the bad times ever end? Shiv, they never ended. Let's put it this way. The bad times never ended. I think we could ask the counter question, did the good times ever start? Right? But it is a question that needs to be asked, and I think a lot of people have tried to make the system, and they've not aided the system, have helped the system. And that is, I think, overall the problem. Vishal Kate shaky without foreign defenders ahead of him. Mayank, I've said this. Vishal Kate is not number one material for India. And people all, used to say this and that and everything. Right? If anyone ever again says that Vishal Kate should be number one of India, that person, please stop watching Indian football. Then because you don't understand anything. Sorry to say that. I was looking up to this fixture for months thinking we'll have a good start, and now, surprise, I've started to think maybe I was way too obsessed. Rushabh, I also felt the same. I thought, despite all the hype around Hamza and, that we could get a win somehow. But this was a non-performance. They were physically on the field, but some of the players were not there. That is the, that is what disturbs me in this match. Hamra was everywhere in his tackle mania. He, again, someone with his footballing background, with his footballing basics, he's going to be a cut above the rest, right? I mean, Hamza performance out 10. Istab, if you ask me that way, 7.5 or an 8. I think he can do better. I think he can do much better. Give him time. Let him settle down. Let him also maybe have the one or the better player around him. I think then you will be able to see the quality of Hamza Chhetri. It is high time now. You should join as national team coach. Raj, I'm no coach. So take me out of that conversation in that. Our mentality or morale is poor. Manu, the mentality is a problem with that generation of footballers. That's the problem. So that's the reality. Bryson and Mahesh not starting, or even McCarthy, we lost the midfield battle as per Ashish Negi. With all due respect to Ashish, Bryson and Mahesh, did anyone watch Mahesh against the Maldives? How terrible his passing was? Bryson, McCarthy, that is our answer to the problem, right? Sorry, then, I think we need to talk about Ayush Chhetri rather. And why not Suresh? I think the coach also, I think, made mistakes. He took some decisions, didn't work. Is it worth investing time and money in Indian football? Shiv, if you're willing to give money, if people are willing to invest money into Indian football, I will never stop them from doing that. But when I see people left, right, and center actually using it to earn money and harming the system, that needs to change. People like me are idiots who spend their own money, time, and effort to try and help develop the game. Right? There are others who are making the system. That's the real problem. If someone wants to invest big, let him. But I mean, that's you can generalize that question in Indian sports. I've spoken to enough people over the last few days to realize that this Indian sporting ecosystem has even in cricket, there are problems. There is too much of spending. That's the biggest Indian sports. The problems you see in Indian football in regard to money and the spendings that you have is replicated over the board across all sports. That is one of the basic realities, and that is, to me, those are the challenges. Those are the challenges we'll one face with Indian football, where we now have to hope that somehow things will get better. But for that, we need radical changes. We need new people, and let's see. Pranjal says, saw the match. I have only one question. When is a OCIPO coming? It's not funny anymore. Pranjal, I don't know. If you look at the AIFF and what they've been doing over the last 2.5 years under this leadership, people who are in or people who have gone, that our football wasn't the greatest is clear. And players of origin, was spoken about a while ago, but nothing has happened. People talk about the role. Please talk about the role of state federations and district federations in destroying Indian football. Shantanu, I think it is easy to point the finger at one, be it the state federations, be it district federations. We need to point the finger at everybody. It starts with the AIFF, it continues with the state FAs, it goes on to the districts, to the city FAs, I can't take out the clubs. I can't take out the academies. The players need to ask themselves, how can I improve? So that's the reality. Everybody needs to question him and herself, as I've tweeted, if within the system. And I don't take myself out. Maybe I should have stood up for certain things a little stronger and harder, which I think I should. So that's the thing. Manolo team prepared wrong, or the players were not 100%. Mac, I thought Manolo did the right things. Maldives friendly, brought Sunil back. I felt that the Maldives game was a perfect setup for us to settle down and utilize the advantages of Shillong. Yeah, it was an advantage, right? It was not an advantage. And yeah, people said what one origin player can do. This is the perfect answer to them. Raj, think about if we use 4 or 5 of them, where we could be. Look at where Indonesia is at the moment, fighting for a World Cup spot, right? And they've just started. Players take games so casually. Chaitanya, yeah, I also felt that. I felt that there was intensity lacking. Kuch na kuch ho jayega. Sunil is there. Something will happen for us. We will manage. We will manage this somehow. I felt. I don't know what you guys felt. Dada, tomorrow morning I'm supposed to hit the gym. This match really fucked up my mood. I can't even. Sorry, I used the F word. Sorry. I can't even sleep now. I wonder, am I this stupid? Keep supporting them. I was kicked back in 2012. It's still seen. Rushabh, welcome to the club. You say 2012. I've been doing this since 1992. I'm here, in that hotel next to the Salt Lake Stadium. And I watched my first India match against Iran in that Salt Lake Stadium in 1992. Since then, I've been supporting them. So to me, I actually went for a walk. I did actually. I was somewhere. I came back, freshened up, and then actually walked around. I think it's a 2.5 kilometer walk around the Salt Lake Stadium complex because I feel so bad, and I didn't want to do a live tonight because. And then I had this urge of sharing this pain with you guys. I think we're all in this together. And Rishabh, I know it sounds hard enabling this, but there will be better times. There will be better times for you, for me, for all of us who support Indian football, the national team. Manolo said we would have conceded 3-4 goals, and the only positive for today is that we were lucky. Mank, I thought post-match, Manolo was very, very honest and frank. Very, very honest and frank. And I think today he would have learned who can I trust? Who could I play? And Manolo Marcus said something which I've been saying for a long, long time, which a lot of people don't want to understand. The national team is not just a place to try out things. You only try out things if you are forced to. That's the point. I always remember what Bob Houghton used to say. You might be the best player in the I-League, but that does not guarantee your spot in the Indian national team because it doesn't mean that you're good enough to be playing for India, to wear the shirt and to face international opposition. That's the skill of a national coach. Sometimes calling up players where you think, let's see. सर अगर एक एडवाइस आप देना चाहे इंडियन फुटबॉल को इम्प्रूव करने के लिए तो वो क्या होगा? there is no one advice. The question is if I would give Indian football one, there's not one advice. The first thing would be accountability. I want to hear from the players a sorry. A real sorry. I saw that sorry from Manolo. He didn't have to say it, but you could feel that he's sorry for that performance today. Accountability also means that the AIFF says, you know what? This is it. I mean, it's the situation when we are in is a joke. We are in a situation on this in the early hours of the 26th of March 2025, where we do not know what will happen in another 10 weeks, not even 10 weeks. Bringing Hamza is just cheating. No, Pranchal, it is allowed. We are not doing it. It is not cheating. Everybody who wants and can do it will do it. And that's our problem. It's not the problem of Bangladesh. Bangladesh has been trying to bring in Hamza Chhetri now when did it first time? 2019, I think, was the first time I heard about it. Just saw Yandanda and Danny Bart on the Insta post of the AIFF. How long will Indian football suffer for not allowing Diaspora players? Zuravar, I don't know. As I said, and I've said in multiple videos, watch them in here. If you want to watch the shorter videos that I make, I'll try and fight for this PIO thing. I started the whole fight in 2001. I go back to that, right? I've also done one thing. I've never bragged about things, but maybe now is the time to brag about things that I've tried to do. Pushed it with the AIFF. The AIFF didn't know about it. The government of India didn't know about it. Went to FIFA, got my person of Indian origin card certified with Alberto Colasso, who was the secretary at the time, in 2006. Bob was looking at it. Bob tried to bring in Michael Chopra. And it hasn't happened, right? Other people claim a lot what they do. There are people who I know who do things, but who wants to know them? Nobody takes any action, no accountability, no progress, no action is ever taken to fix the system. Give the effort to fans and people who are genuine interest like you. Don't give it to fans. Sorry, Shiv. That's the first thing. First mistake. To be a fan is nice, is easy, might also be hurtful. But to run a federation, to run a football entity, to run a football club, you have to have the knowledge and understanding. And being a fan for me is not good enough, right? And whenever you've tried fan projects in Europe, fan-run clubs, it's always failed. You need professional management. Indian football needs the right people to run, to be given the power to make decisions, to make our tough decisions, hard decisions, even if the fans don't like it, even if the system doesn't like it. Bring in the right people, give them the power, and wait for a certain period of time. Our focus is always been at the top, while we've forgotten that you have to have a strong foundation and your national A team at the top is your end product. That's, the top of your building. That's the problem. In my opinion, would have started with 3 midfielders, Manolo said, to play Farouk, who was not involved in helping the midfield. Mank, I always say you can have an opinion, I can have an opinion. At the end of the day, Manolo has to take a decision. Manolo is seeing them every day in training. Manolo has been seeing every day in training a lot of these boys who've played today, and he has to take a call what he thinks is right. Manolo Marquez did not play today the way he played because he thought, okay, let's mess this game up, right? So therefore, it didn't work. But we have to also say that the coach made some decisions which didn't work. Hamza showed us our Okat. To be very honest, he was winning the ball so easily, bullying us physically. Maybe the hype was too much, but he showed his class even if he's a championship player. Rushabh, even if he's a championship player, doesn't matter. A championship player, a regular in a top team of the championship, as Hamza Chhetri is any day better than anyone we have. We have nobody in our team who's even close to being a championship player. That is the first thing that, as if I like it, if you like it, if any one of us likes it, we have to accept that nobody in our team, what I say, is anywhere there. I've said that multiple times in earlier lives over the years. Listen, you want to come to my city, to Remscheid. My team is a top team in the 6th tier of German football, a former second Bundesliga club, FC Remscheid. I will pay you the money out of my own pocket. Let me see if you're going to play for a 6th division German club. Most probably you will not, because most of our boys, 90% of the boys who play at FC Remscheid, used to play under 17, under 19 Bundesliga. So the basics are good, right? So that's the reality. If Vishal is the number one, then who will be the number one? HNKFC, to me, Gurpreet and Amrinder any day are better than him. He's not a number one for India, sorry, and I've said that. Ayush felt the heat in midfield today, although I do not blame him. He's young and will learn, but Manolo left the 2 midfielders versus 4 of Bangladesh. Man, he's not ready for this. For this, it was, you know, it was asking too much of him, right? And I would have thought it might, surely it would have been smarter to play Suresh, right? Play Suresh and you use someone in midfield who can, maybe Ayush might have been a better number 10 in that way and then could have dropped. I don't know that, you know. Even in our last games against Bangladesh, it wasn't like we set the stage on fire. We struggled to score against them. Now with Hamza and team, the draw was to be expected. Navido Free via Bangladesh has been a tough team, but most of the draws that I remember over the last decade should have been wins for us. This is the first time where I feel, we were lucky not to be beaten, right? By the way, what was Chhetri's impact today as people were hyping? Sarawar is trying. Knowing Sunil, he was trying, but I feel it was a day where he couldn't carry the team on his shoulders, right? Hamza, one shoulder push and Liston down. Raj, I've said, our wingers, I take Changte out physically. Everybody else can be bodied. All our wingers. All these hyped, right? That's the problem. All those hyped young, I don't know, who do we want to take? Vishnu, Sanan, XYZ, name me the winger. They'll be bodied. Hamza Chhetri would body most of the Indian team. Take maybe Sandesh out. Rahul Beke could most probably withstand him. Apuya, Sunil, then we're done. Hi Mihar, good to see you back. I'm here after a long time, but I'm tired now with this Indian football. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you, and bring back Stephen Constantine, says Indian food and football. Yeah, maybe I have to also move on, right? Sir, it's the last match for Chhetri. I heard that Chhetri may come back for Bangladesh. Please clear the statement. As far as now I know, Istab Sunil Chhetri has not returned, only for one game. But as far as I have understood, Sunil will play the whole qualifiers. So that is At the moment, my understanding of things. I did not watch the match, but Mahesh was not even good in the last game. I do not know why YouTubers and pundits are saying I should have started. Because Mayank, sorry, with my all the due respect to these so-called YouTubers, content creators and pundits, that shows their understanding of football. Indian football's problem is not only on the field, it is all across the field. A lot of people talk about Indian football who should not be in Indian football, starting with a lot of coaches, a lot of players. Why do I say we need a smaller than a larger ISL? Because we're diluting, right? Do you think we started the game wrong with the wrong tactics and wrong strategy and lineup? I would say so. Ayush was surely, that was at least one level above him, if not two. So that's the thing. Do you think coaches promoting own players more? Manu, that point will come up. I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, Udanta made sense to me, very honestly, after the way Mahesh played the other day. It was very, very clear that when you bring Udanta back, have the option of playing someone like Udanta, I would play Udanta, right? Arjun Pandit from 420 Grams says, what is this perception of playing in Asian Cup? Even the head coach told the players on their face, you don't deserve Asian Cup. Even coach admitted after first game. Arjun has a point, but on the other side, I would say that, what else do we play for? Right? What are we playing for? If we're not playing at least for the Asian Cup, we're not playing for the World Cup. Anyone who's thinking is dreaming. And therefore, for us, our personal World Cup is the Asian Cup. And we should be trying. Chhetri was frustrated because Hamza was marking him and Chhetri even talking trash to him during a corner. Okay, I don't know where that came from. Rakibul, I didn't see that. And if they were doing it, listen, that's part of football. Even if he does that, I knew the master of trash talk in Indian football used to be Baichung Bhutia. I used to remember Baichung Bhutia tried to always get his opponent a card or get him sent off. So that's part of football. Bangladesh with even average forwards can win the game today. It was their forwards which kept India in game all the time with poor finishing. Yeah, I think Mehar, I'm happy. That Hamza Chaudhary is not a striker. Because if Hamza Chaudhary today was a striker, this would have ended badly for us. Last week, I prayed for FSDL to not withdraw from ISL, but now I wish that to happen. Fed up with this. Nice. If FSDL pull out, I think a lot of people are not I don't think are realizing if FSDL tomorrow say, thank you very much, Tata, bye-bye, I'm gone. The AIFF cannot run the system because they lack that money. Honestly enough, the players don't care. They don't get paid to play for national team. They are not on a control contract. You can see it on their face. You think they even give 70% on the pitch. XYZ, nobody gets paid to play for a national team around the world. Nobody. And I go back to an Armando Sadico, what he said, and that is the thing, right? That mentality is missing in Indians. Indians have, sorry to say that as someone of Indian origin, Indians have a fake pride on wrong things, not on sports. Every Indian should be supporting the Indian football team, right? Game felt too defensive. I wouldn't say that. I think we were not capable of more today. That shoulder tackle by Hamza on Liston is the reality of Indian football. Everyone will push India and go ahead. Yeah, maybe. I hope not. Maybe. I saw Bol Dada Bol talking about how Stephen Constant was the best coach in the last 20 years. He talked about how he just said 2 lines to the players to sleep at night and left the room. Mayank, with all respect to Nilanjan, I think, no, Nilanjan didn't. I did a little, but Stephen came into India through me in 2001, 2002. So I know Stephen quite well. But I would say Stephen has a certain way of doing it his way. But I would prefer the way that Bob Houghton used to do it. Used to be tough on the field, really tough on the field. Used to keep a certain distance to the players. Bob used to even prefer to stay in another hotel and say, listen, do your things. I'm not bothering. But when you're on the field, I want to see 100%. Stephen does it in a different way, which is more controlled. So therefore, that's the reality. How can you sleep at night when you can't defeat even Bangladesh and Nepal, says Mayank? Well, that's the reality. We cannot press Bangladesh and we fear them that they might open us up. Yes, Bangladesh and our target is playing Asian Cup. XYZ. That's the problem at the moment. We have to be realistic. Mano Marcus has already given up after first game. I can confidently say after this performance, we wish last and nothing will happen. We will finish last and nothing will happen. Let's see what happens. Imagine what will happen in SAF Championship in June, says Raj. Honestly, Bangladeshi players were really fast, says Nuba. Okay. So just assume player agreed to play abroad, but our player even fit to play in second or third division in Europe will play given a chance to play. What am I saying? I forget second, third. Hamza Chhetri is a second-tier player, established at least second-tier player of the English pyramid. No, none of our players are at that level. I think if we are national league level, fifth tier in England, I'd be happy. Fifth tier. And if I look at Germany, as I said, FC Remscheid, my hometown team, if I see anyone playing in that team, I don't see anyone joining FC Remscheid and playing there, right? So therefore, for me, that's the, if you like it or not. So therefore, yeah, that's the reality. Arjun Pandit also said Indian fans should now fourth. I've got to see national team lose all the time, lose SAF all the time, lose World Cup qualifiers all the time, cannot score all the time. I wouldn't go as far as Arjun. I think tonight, that's why I didn't come live after the game. I took a few, that 45-minute walk here in Salt Lake helped me to cool down. And let's see. Hope is the only thing that I feel is left. I'm glad that you came live. I have so much to say, like I could go talking till the morning, how shitty things are, how F up. Yeah, but it's for nothing. Yeah, Rishabh, again, that's why I came here. That's why we're having a small interaction. Thanks for you joining in, not only you, but everybody else. And those of you who haven't, maybe leave a like behind, share it with others. And if you haven't, do subscribe to the channel. Let's keep on growing the community despite all the setbacks. Let's try and talk about these things and maybe try. I'm always trying a little bit here and there to try and make things better. 2,418 subscribers. Thank you very much, everybody. And and it is tough. I bet if you ask if they would say it's positive result because we got 1 point. The only positive is that Hong Kong, Singapore was a tie. It turns out, as you say, that's the big positive. Yeah. What else to say? I think what the AIFF says, I don't know what I can take seriously from the AIFF from that perspective. Get stuff. Who do you think are not national team material but still the national team? Vishal Khet. Let's start and go. Vishal Khet to me is not national team material. Never was. Yeah, maybe a number 3 option. Aus Chhetri to me is not a starting player. Needs to be looked at and considered. Liston Colasso is another one of those but I don't know who's better than Liston. That's the other problem. McCarthan, Bryson, Mahesh, all of these guys, all these young players who we think are good. Valpuya also needs to get better. Too many. We lack quality. Right now I think leaving Maldives, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, Bangladesh will zoom ahead. Pakistan being in origin, just like Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, Nepal will implement it too. Yeah. And if I saw right, I think Sri Lanka only lost 1-0 to Thailand. What's your thoughts on today's team selection? Wasn't the best by Manolo, I guess. And I think Manolo would be the first person to say that. Why would the players say Sorana over there risking their football careers and their livelihood for playing in the national risking injuries which could hamper themselves in ISL season? XYZ, playing for the national team increases your value in the ISL as well, right? So the next contract could be a little better if you're playing for the national team. So I think that should not be forgotten in this whole situation. Sorry. I don't think anything can make me feel worse than this performance by the national team. Yeah, Champagne. I don't mean it's actually cheating, just felt like cheating, like a professional got inside an amateur game and just wrecked everyone. Again, everyone's doing it. What do you think next match Bangladesh can beat Indonesia in home match with Hamza? I think Bangladesh is playing Singapore, right? Not. Bangladesh needs to score, right? And that is the thing that was missing, luckily today. Therefore, if they can sort that out, I think yes, Bangladesh has an opportunity to win. Chhetri made mistake by returning back. It's putting questions on his glory. No, Raj, why would it put a question on his glory? Sunil is Sunil. Sunil has done enough for Indian football, right? And Sunil is helping us. The other players, the squad, the coaches, yeah. In an interview with Lex Friedman a few days back, Modi said that both men's and women's football team would lost last year. Zoravar, I don't take it seriously. Yeah. We know what the sports minister said a few weeks ago or months ago. Yeah. The situation with one Diaspora player like Hamza return like in Dhaka, there would be 7-8. India would be destroyed. Let's see how many they get. That's the first thing. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, doesn't watch it. After post-match game, camera panned to Chhetri, where Chhetri was just awestruck. He was pondering with wide open eyes. Why is he back here in this hell? Really, his face said everything, screamed. Yes and no, XYZ. Knowing Sunil a little. Sunil, first of all, is a player who is unhappy with his own performance. He will think, what could have I done better? And yeah, it just wasn't good enough, right? It was just not good enough for a performance to get a result. So therefore, yeah, difficult to say, but Sunil will have been more upset with himself, yeah, than anything else. Bangladesh only lacked a Diaspora striker. If they had one, India would have easily conceded 4 goals at least. Yeah. Yeah. Very, very true. Modi in Let's Explain an interview barked out lies which were told to him by Mansukh Mandavia, who was told by Kalyan Chowk. I don't know who told whom, but I don't think even Kalyan and Mansukh were involved in all of this. Again, creating narratives, who said what, I don't think it came even that. Foundation Orange was, yeah, 4 goals. So what do you think about Nopang Grassroots League? I think we need more such league. The Nopang Grassroots League project is a great one by Reliance Foundation and the Mizoram Football Association, and we need more, yes. But if you think that that is going to solve the things in the near future, it's not going to be, because the Nopang League kids will take 15, in an ideal case, 15 years, in the worst case, 20, 30 years for us to really get proper results out of them. Hi, sir. It's disappointing our depth is decreasing year by year, 100%, Utsav. And it is, we fooled ourselves in 2023. I think anyone who's talking about 2020, oh, you know, we were great, we were this, we were that. No, the results were good. But just, I watched the live, the Lebanon and the Kuwait matches in the SAF Championship, the semis and the finals, and both those matches were, ooh. Yeah. Hi, Ayush. This should be the last match of Vishal and Arush post saved their face today. I don't know if it's going to be the last, because I think we have to be honest to ourselves as how many players do we have. I think Ayush is a talented player at the end of the day. Vishal is not a number 1 to me. I've always said that and I maintain that, and I think he proved that today. And Shubhashish Bose, I've already said, Shubhashish Bose, yeah, is someone who will not be your best all the time, but once in a while, on a good occasions, he can save us. Why have not a single answer able to any decent striker? Utsav, it's not on them to develop them, right? And it's never been. No club developed Sunil Chhetri. No club developed Pancham Bhutia. No club developed Vijan. Vijan, Vijan was a God-gifted talent, and Baichung and Sunil worked their way up. You know, I was disappointed with Sunil for missing that chance. A younger Sunil would have buried it, but he's old, which is fine. We still need him to pass the baton to maybe Irfan. Yeah. Yeah. One shoulder push by Hamza and the entire dream world and ego of Liston was destroyed. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Liston should have thought about this moment when he was celebrating his goal against the Maldives, right? Sunil was playing, will play until he scored 100 goals. Indian football does not look forward. Shumatri, if he scores 100 or not, is not the question over here. We are so dependent on a striker who can score, and the most likely striker to score is Sunil Chhetri, right? And if as a byproduct he gets to that mark, then let him, I would say. All these pundits are basically Mohun fans hyping their own players. However, some of them are, I guess the Bengali ones, yes, you can say. But the other ones are also, you know, who's going to come forward and claim the credit of the poor quality of Indian football? You know, which coach, which club, which manager, which academy will say, you know what, I should and I should need to do more. I've done more. That's the reality. Harakip was on fire. His pace outpaced us. Our players were just reacting. It's Bangladeshi pressing. Our own strategy was quota in full swing. Now again, as I said, Akash, I knew this quota thing will come up from certain people. I think that was not a problem. I mean, if I look at the quality, again, Ayush, yeah, most probably doesn't deserve it. But Udanta Boris, yeah, you can keep him, take them out, put someone else in. It doesn't make a difference. There is no player who was sitting on the bench who could have started this game where you would say, this is the player that I needed. India का रैंक 120 के अंदर है, मालदीव्स का 150 अराउंड होगा. उसके साथ इंडिया ने 3 गोल से जीता, लेकिन बांग्लादेश तो 185th रैंकिंग का टीम है, तो भी इंडिया नहीं जीत पाया. See, the ranking, Nenzo, is nice to have or not to have. And therefore, it proves that the team who's 185th is actually better than the team who's 150th or who's 120s. Indian football is just a laughing stock right now. Every other team doing upsets, and we are drawn against Bangladesh. Yeah, we're gaming. Even Malaysia beat Afghanistan. We're gaming. I think Malaysia beating Afghanistan is not a surprising thing. I think is, for me, the most normal thing to happen. I would still say we need to back Manolo. He didn't give any shitty excuses, straight up. Facts, brutal facts. Yeah, that's the difference. Why play an unfit Udanta? Is this purely favoritism or poison in the team? Why was Udanta unfit? Did I miss something? I don't think Udanta was unfit. By the way, Kyrgyzstan just smoked Asian champions Qatar 3-1. Same Kyrgyzstan. We beat 2-0 in the January of 2022 Tri-Nation Cup. XYZ, we beat them in March. There was no Tri-Nation. But also do remember a Kyrgyz republic at home can potentially beat a team from the Middle East. But a team like Kyrgyz Republic traveling to Manipur, of all places, in a March window. Yeah. If any current goalkeeper is not good enough, then say who will be replacement of JSS and Amanda. To me, Gurmeet Singh looks promising, and Ritik Tiwari. Those two are the most promising young keepers I see at the moment. If we qualify with the squad, Mark Ali bless us, we will be absolutely smashed to smash burger. Do you think India should have played on a bigger wide-wicky pitch and stretched the wing play? We gave away their match playing at a smaller Shillong pitch where many players haven't played previously. Shumadri, most of the players have played there in the ISL. And big pitch, small pitch, we had our problems in Salt Lake in 2019, where we drew. I just realized even Saf is gone now, says Pranjal. Any update on Supreme Court regarding the draft constitution? No, they've pushed it to next week, if I'm right. Again, what do you expect from this team? Is this the best they can do? They're gaming. I think we saw some glimpses of what this team can do in the Maldives game, and this was poor. Also, Uzbekistan versus Iran, best game of this window. Mahdi Tarami scored one of the best goals I ever saw to entertain draw. Iran qualifies for World Cup. Yeah. Today, even Sandesh looked off, one ball behind the backline. Both Baker and him were like, oh, what do I do now? Let him pass those runs so easily. Yeah, that's the problem, Rushabh. List proof against footballing IQ is 0. I'm really getting fed up with our national football. Yeah, but yeah. I think lose better than draw. At least AIFF wake up from sleep and also players. Yes, Raj, do they wake up from losses? Did the AIFF learn anything last year from the loss to Afghanistan? Because team had stayed till June, right? So nothing happened. How football is run in Bangladesh without FSDL? Nadine, I don't know what the structure is in Bangladesh. It's run by the BFF. When will we start looking at the players? They have to start taking accountability, fight hunger or passion in them other than a few. Yeah. Titanshu, yeah, that's the thing. I was so frustrated with Liston over the year, but today he was the only player who played well, in my opinion. Okay. The day when we lost Afghanistan was over, no expectations, says Raj. We also drew with Bangladesh in 2019, also in Kolkata. Yeah, very true. So therefore, this small big pitch debate, I think, is a side effect. This Hamza effect, says Moinuddin. Yeah, certainly. Kyrgyzstan, Qatar 3-1. I heard 1,500 rupees per game. What happens if a player gets injured during the game? It's not for club who pays salaries and medical fees. Bharat, this is the rule around the world. National teams is more about pride. Contrary to popular opinion, I would say both played much better than others. I'm sorry, but Chingan is not the best in our defense line. Yeah, today Pruashish played better than his usual self. Yeah, that is true, but yeah, Sandesh had an off day, right? How many more Bangladeshi origin players could Bangladesh invite to play? Utsav, I think they could form a whole team of origin players in the future. Every team is on 1 point in the group. We can still qualify. I think, Nadeem, that's the best thing that could happen. Manolo is even more shameless than Steamach. His skin is so thick, he's behaving like nothing happened. Horrible squad selection. Huh? Honestly, I've said this now a few times. Where do you get your infos from, guys? Some of you. Why? Squad selection? What did you do wrong? Who's missing in this squad? Starting lineup, we can talk about it. But squad selection? I don't think so. And Manolo is honest enough afterwards to say, I mean, he's always said, better not to say you what I think. He goes, Steamach will still defended this 0-0. What are you talking about, Akash? Sometimes, really, guys. Exactly. Iga would be very happy today. Exactly. Iga would have sold you this 0-0 as a win. In 2019, qualifiers were outplayed by Myanmar and Kyrgyzstan, but we nicked 6 points to qualify. I think we can still qualify. That's also very true, right? That game in Myanmar, Chhetri goal of Udanta cross and Kyrgyzstan as well. So, yeah. Manolo is a good coach, but apparently it was all long balls today against Bangladesh, and that too with Liston, Udanta and Chhetri at front. Mike, sometimes simplify the system. If we are going to play, we are technically so bad that possession football or combination football doesn't work with us, right? Is Irfan a good replacement for Chhetri? Orithro, he could be. Let's see. He has to evolve. He has to develop. And now things like Football India would not run without FSDL. What if FSDL continue for next 15 years? AIFF continues to be beggars and do nothing for next 15 years in 2040. FSDL leaves. Right. So Nadeem will let FSDL leave. Okay, take it. FSDL leaves in 2040. And Football in India is gone. So it's better AIFF become independent. We might suffer for years, but in long run, it might be positive rather than continue slaves and beggars. It's great how some of you are able to understand things that others don't seem to understand. That's my summary of this. Great. I don't know what to say about this. Rather than supporting such self-claimed football experts, support sir. Raj, it's not about supporting. Don't need to support me. Support Indian football, especially now. Support Indian football. And again, I'll be honest to you, and I'll be honest to the people. I said something to someone that he didn't like today, who has told him on his face, and that's how I am. But if you or anyone comes around and tells you something, I was like, oh God, that's not true. That's the reality. If I think something that you say is wrong, I will tell you that I think that you're wrong, right? That's the thing. People are fed up watching this team. Fans don't expect anything. At least fight and show passion, show commitment, give 100%. He's self-entitled. Cannot even do that. What can I say? Can you say? Yeah. I think whatever Steamert said after filing, it's happening right now. Yeah, but Steamert needs to introspect and say, you know what, I am at fault. Stephen got more out of the team. Let's say 100 is our level. Stephen got 110, 120 out of it. In the Asian Cup 2019 with that Thailand win, we got sort of 150 out of it. Igor Stimac has brought this team down to, I don't know, 20? And then you're saying, oh, you know, this and that. No, it's your fault. He has destroyed the fabric of the national team. In ISL and other leagues shut down, in India, at least players think about foreign leagues to play. Yes, Raj, no one will take our players. Indian players will be gone in the oblivion. Nobody wants Indian players. Nobody's waiting for an Indian player, right? This dream, this pipe dream, not happening because there are people who've tried over the years. Baichung got a chance because someone in England tried to do something. Sunil had an opportunity to go to America because someone helped him. They tried to put him in England. Someone took him to Portugal. Gurpreet got through someone went there. I tried to take Changte here. With other players, we've tried to do stuff. This is not happening. I will not come forward to push a player because the players are not good enough. That's why I said, if someone like a Som Kumar goes back to play in Slovenia or at least train and then play, that's better. These players don't deserve salary of 10K. Sorry to say, I don't trust Gurpreet Singh Sandhu and his power, national team, dressing room, all those stories that they control called selection speaks. How do you know? All those stories. My biggest problem is that 90% of those stories about what you hear is all wrong in Indian football. Yeah. So that's the other problem. Some of you read a lot, which is great on one side. But on the other side, do you know that the person who's putting it out, does he know? That's the reality. All I expect for Hong Kong game is, I hope AIFF arranges a away friendly against a strong side, maybe Thailand, Vietnam, or Malaysia again. Let's see, Rishabh, what they do. All the content creators covering today's game just switched to covering the cricket game because the chat insisted. They said, why should we give special attention to football? And that is the mistake. That's also a mistake. Even in this worst hour or worst of times, Indian football needs us. After establishing FF, the AIFF don't care about Indian football. King Ashraj. The question is, looking at the level, will they play against us? Large, good question. Recently, Indian basketball team qualified for the FIBA Asian Cup for the very first time. It beat higher ranked teams. India's ranked 81. They beat teams ranked 66, 70. Also beat top 10 side. Well, that's great. India should play their home matches in Kashmir and make use of home advantage like Rio Kashmir to get a stadium with facilities in Kashmir. Yeah, maybe it's the way. If clubs don't develop players, then who does? Pranjal, good question. It's on the academies and the clubs. See, we went to Shillong and we messed up badly. Our players would struggle at height. Akash says, I don't think this height thing was an issue today. The news of basketball team raining 3-pointers which shocked the Asian basketball team because they beat teams that had beaten 40 years with no imported players. Yeah, but they had a league a few weeks ago. So I think that's the impact on that. So is the only solution OCPO players? It is one of them. Stephen can only save us from here, says Shayan from Indian Food and Football. Is that the answer? I'm not sure. I'm sorry, but team selection is very sketchy to me and many other people. It looks quota system is there. I don't know what to say. Manolo should leave. Bring back Stephen Constant. What quota system? And who are these many people? Why you and those people understand things then better? My question. Who made you someone to be able to judge things? Or any of those people that you're quoting? Simple question. You might not like it, Akash. That's my simple question to you. To you and to everybody who seems to understand. And sorry, were you there once for the training session? Were you there when Manolo spoke to the other coaches? Were you there in the last 10 days in Shillong to be able to say those? Right? Please, for God's sake, bring OCMPO players, says Rohit. My question is, can Stephen really save us with these players? I don't know. You know, it's speculative. Sri Lanka lost 1-0 to Thane, we will lose 4-0 6. How can Manolo behave like nothing happened? His horrible starting 11 and team selection is very much responsible for his also. Akash, again, didn't you see the post-match, what he said? Then again, watch it and then let's have a conversation. Sarah's Indian football fan, I say that in SAF, all nations are becoming big, but I see. If we don't consider then winning SAF also is that for us, but we get 7. Yeah, OCI, but it's not OCI, it's OCP or OCSL or whatever we want to call it. How good is Hong Kong and Singapore? Do you think we may not even qualify for Asian Cup? Utsaf, it looks tough, but I think with 2 draws, that's, I think, the best thing that could happen to us. See, I think Hamza not played that good, which we have in mind, but he will score 4 goals himself only, but he played normal, not that. But draw is a shame for us. Satyam, who thinks that Hamza would be scoring 4 goals? Hamza is not an attacking player, he's a defensive player. And now we, as football fans, need to stop making excuses, except all other nations are progressing except India. That's the reality. If Manolo have 2 mid and Bangladesh 4 mid, how can we have attacking mid? We should have 4-3, but he played 4-3-2-1. Yeah. Please explain what you saw that gives you so much hope in this team, if we can call this national team. XYZ, it's not about yes. Again, I take a little bit of hope from the Maldives game, because you saw a certain way of gameplay. Today, I think every game came together. It was a bad day for a lot of players. Starting 11 wasn't the right one. Manolo is from Barcelona. He even coached Barca U21 in starting coaching days, and he's done there. So no zero for what he should bring you from match in India attacking mid-pitchers. Okay. I felt it is in my eyes that Sandesh was struggling because of lack of communication. We need more long camps. I don't think that was the problem. We need Anwar Ali's diagonal passes to create something in his ball playing and passing. Here you go with Jing and Big. I don't think Anwar Ali is an option. Did you see Anwar Ali play in the last few months in the ISL? Udanta and starting 11, wow, who thinks to get Udanta and starting is defensive back, not attacking? He's an attacking player. What are you saying, Satyam? Stephen took 4 years to find his players. He played quite well in 2019 AFC. Let's back Manolo be ready to get frustrated furthermore. Bishop, that's also fact. Stephen struggled in 2015, 16, 17, slowly got the team going. Our players were not even trying to press like them. We were just running behind them for ball, amateurs like me playing this way with high school kids. Yeah. I think it's just hype. FSDL is leaving, a contract come and end, but they're not leaving. It's just a misconception. It was formed to support Midfield. They'll be there forever. Again, where are you getting your infos from would be my question. Might be a knock question. What's the actual problem of dual citizenship PIOCI? We hear that we know dual passport or PIOCI can be allowed, and what do the FIFA rule have to say about it? R3DF4NG. No, it's not a no question. Very simply said, India doesn't allow dual citizenship. So that means, let's say, Yan Danda wants to play for us, would have to leave his UK passport and take up Indian citizenship. And taking up Indian passport, and that doesn't happen. Therefore, dual citizenship works, or you fast track citizenship, which is happening in some countries as well. I think we can't even win from Bangladesh in friendly from next games if they get more players, Hamza, in which they will, and we're playing with local. No OCI, so how will we compete? Satyam, don't forget, we didn't beat Bangladesh in the last few matches we played them with the 18, right? This is something which a lot of people are forgetting. Even in Kolkata in 2019, I was there in that match. We drew 1-1 against Bangladesh. Needed a late Adil Khan header to get us a point. Do you think that Mahesh would have made a difference in place of Udanto today? No. Shuhardo, Mahesh was terrible with his long balls and crosses the other day against the Maltese. Right? So, I don't think so. Ayush was struggling from the beginning. Mr. Manolo did not sub him. He bring Mahesh, Bryson when we are almost done. Don't you think they are extremely bad strategy? No. Yeah, Akash, but do you think that Mahesh and Bryson, if I take Ayush off, who do I bring in? That was my question. Sir, why is it that we don't win any medals at Olympics? We don't bring Ayush. When national fates, you bring this issue of bad. Shouldn't we invest in our own league and homegrown players? Utsav, this goes, hand in hand. And therefore, it's not a one-way street. But I think players of origin is something which should be logical. We need to play friendly matches with some improvements. We are playing enough matches. That is not our problem. I think whole Indian football real fans should bring revolution. We should get into this into media and should force and raise this level so we get permission. Satyam, I've been trying on this OCI PIO player topic for the last 24 years with the AIFF and with the sports ministry, and even once to the Prime Minister of India. FIFA was involved. Nothing has moved. Chhetri got saved from relegation in 2018 by FF is now trying FF helping another team after his players wasted time and referee rightfully added all the wasted time. Hats off to Bristol Town. Nadeem, that wasn't the only one. It was in 1997 as well that with Mohan Bagan, the glorious Mohan Bagan, that the FF has multiple times saved Churchill, and there have been decisions which went for Churchill also. So, yeah, that's a non-starter. But those who don't want their league immediately start to abuse the Crystal Tune. Of course, I think we need to increase the quality of ISL, increase competitiveness. As I've seen a decade ago, footballers has now considered career at least as a hope to play football professionally. Utsav, professional footballers has been a topic since the 90s. I think the NFL started it in 96. I League in 2007, that has never been a problem. I think the perception has been there. Ask the Kolkata Giant clubs how many players they develop in the academy over a decade. Yeah. I don't understand one thing. We see our junior teams like they play really, at least they play proper football. We have strikers there. We have players who stick to their words. AVS, I think under 17s we can talk about it, but under 20s, under 23s, it's problem. The Indian didn't look like a fifth division Kolkata league team, whereas everyone is kicking the ball without a proper plan now. Only American helpers. Yeah. No, there's no running league in basketball in the XYZ. There was just the first promotional season of a new basketball league in BL, which happened from late Jan till early March. So, yeah, there was a league. Reason why Karan Chopra brought up Diaspora players in last Thursday, New India gonna get humiliated. Yeah, but luckily we didn't. At least that is one thing which saved us, that we didn't get humiliated, even though this draw feels like a loss, right? Honestly, the fans don't trust anyone. Sunil, Jingan, Goalkeeper, neither AIFF coach or management, and contrary, this is a decline. Someone needs to band it. Yeah. I see a lot more question, guys. But I'm slowly getting a little tired. It's nearly 2:30. I'll try and see if I can do a live tomorrow evening, most or later. And yeah, I'm just disappointed. I think all of us are disappointed, and I hope something changes. But I don't know. I don't know where it's going to come from. And yeah, it's a difficult one to take. But that's how football is. And at the end, I'd like to say, if you like the conversation, do leave a like behind, to share the video as well. If you haven't and want to come back for more content, do subscribe to the channel arunfoot here on YouTube. Follow my other social medias on YouTube, be it on X, be it on Instagram, be it on Facebook. Follow arunfoot.com, and I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully later on, with a live, and let's discuss this. And yeah, a disappointing evening, the 25th of March 2025, but we all have to take it. Good night from me, and I'll catch you soon, everyone.